It's been my most favorite marketing campaign.
It's so phenomenal.
It's so unhinged. Like, they're just matching the thing. That's how it's only an inch because they're costs. I know. Did you see have you seen any of the clips of the Madonna meeting with Trump? The way that she was vomiting on her.
I hope she dance the jumps on the cliff of jealousy.
Hey guys, how's everybody?
The best.
Without a ring? I saw that. But you know what, we called that. I mean, that's no question. We know what's going on there. Hey everybody. Good morning. Let's find our book. Where is our book? Here it is. It's book club time. What coffee am I gonna have this morning? I think I'm gonna have a white chocolate strawberry. What? Yeah, you like it? We have special guests this morning and I made them their coffee.
My part is like, do I get on my phone?
That's funny. That's funny. That's fair. That's a good point. That is a fair point. Well, if you guys would like to join us in the living room, we're going to read shortly. Take a break. But sometimes when you like use your brain in a different way, like we'll be reading and like even listening to a story, you might like click something in your brain, you know? Sometimes that really does work. Hey Liz, how was your ankle? Hey Grayson, nice to see you in the same room. Hello, Amanda. Yes, my sisters-in-law are here today with us, joining us for book club. The voices? Sure. Mother Goose. Oh, man. Mabel. Mother Goose is one of the greatest characters ever written. If she doesn't make you laugh, like, you have a broken funny bone. Like, I don't know. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, everybody. We're gonna read shortly. How was everyone's weekend? Did you guys have fun? Have they been listening to book club? Grayson has, Mabel hasn't. You might have been filtered, Liz, because I didn't see it. How's your ankle? Or maybe it's just that I walked away. They put the milks away. Oh, I can see it. It says, pretty sure it's dislocated. Yeah, I see. Anya can see that, though, because she has mod abilities now. I'm sure it hurt. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, no question about that. How do you like the new baby carrier, the one the company sent you? I have more feedback on that. So as far as a waterfall style goes, yes, Mabel and Grayson are both here. I am not generally a waterfall style carrier person. I like an apron style carrier for me. But as far as waterfalls go, this is the most comfortable one that I personally have felt. So, you know. Let's go to book club land. We're gonna go to book club. Time to read some books. That's me bumping into chairs that aren't usually there. That's funny. Okay. Let's get the book. The book is way over here. Let's get our tripod. Where is it? Oh no, we're okay. It usually lives set up, but we moved it because everyone was here and your dad was sitting in this chair. We wanted to give him space. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Hi, Isabella. Okay. Perfect.
Drawer what? I believe. Or just- or put it-
What are you looking for?
Spoon.
Spoon would be in the drawer that's right under where, like, Grayson's standing. Yeah, right where she just took that from. Right there.
I did not open it far enough.
There you go. Hey Danielle, long time no see. So we have special guests for book club today, and we'll see what they have to say about the reading. Kyle also. Hey Kyle, how are you guys? Literally forever no see. Okay. So today we are on chapter 21. Chapter 21 is called The City of Lightning. Here we go. And like I said, we have special guests, so we will have interactive, question and answer period like funsies. Mabel doesn't know what's going on in the story, so she will be very confused. Grayson does know what's going on in the story, so she will not be confused. All right, chapter 21, City of Lightning. The siblings have, totally wrong. See, got it wrong already. The siblings have arrived in Paris. I repeat, the siblings have arrived in Paris, the French reporter announced. Parisians can finally take a deep breath. It looks like help is here. The twins were still sitting in the trunk of the sibling mobile. Connor was trying to come up with a new plan to recruit the superheroes, but all he could think about was his sister's analysis of their history. Was there really more to the sibling story than he realized? Okay, so what happens next? Alex asked. Well, the Snake Lord captures the siblings at the Eiffel Tower, Connor said, and then when Professor Wallet returns to the laboratory, he gives Bolt a pep talk and boosts his confidence, and then Bolt goes to Paris to save his brother and sister, and when he faces the Snake Lord, the rest of his powers kick in and he saves the day. Oh, Professor Wallet must be based on Mrs. Peters, Alex said. She's the person who gave you the confidence to write, and she activated your abilities. Stop analyzing and focus here, Connor said. Professor Wallet doesn't get back to the laboratory for a week. We need to boost Bolt's confidence now, or we're going to be stuck here for a couple of days. Can't you just go into Paris and save the siblings? Can't we do it ourselves? No, the siblings are too divided right now, Connor explained. We need them to work as a team if we want them to help us fight the literary army. When Bolt saves them, he restores their bond as a family. Got it, Alex said. So how do we make him confident enough to go? Connor scratched his head as he thought about it. He peeked out of the trunk and saw that Bolt was still pouting at his desk. Well, he wants nothing more than to be a superhero, Connor said. So let's make him feel like a superhero. We'll still pretend that we're student reporters from the Otherworld Times, but we'll say we're doing a story all about him. Alex nodded. Yeah, okay, let's look the part, she said. And she snapped her fingers and a notepad and pen appeared in Connor's hands. Alex snapped again and a camera appeared hanging around her neck. The twins quietly crawled out of the sibling mobile, tiptoed across the subway tracks and climbed onto the platform. Connor knocked on the wall of the mugshots like it was a door. Excuse me, he called into the laboratory. Is this Professor Wallet's secret underground laboratory? The voice startled Bolt and he jumped up from his desk. He had never seen strangers in the laboratory before. He eyed the twins suspiciously and made fists with his hands. What are you doing here? He asked. Oh my goodness, Connor said. It's the incredible Bolt himself. We must definitely be in the right place. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're seeing him in person, Alex said. And the twins acted starstruck. They giddily jumped up and down like they were meeting their idol. Their enthusiasm made Bolt stand a little taller. Who are you? He asked. And how did you find the laboratory? I'm Connor, and this is my photographer, Alex, Connor said. We're from the Otherworld Times. Professor Wallet didn't tell you that we were coming? No, Bolt said. What's the Otherworld Times? It's a syndicated school newspaper that's printed in over 25 states worldwide, Connor explained. 25 states worldwide. Good job, Connor. Yeah, we're here to do a human interest piece, and we asked our readers who their favorite sibling was, and over 70% of the polled people said that it was you, so congratulations, Alex added, and Bolt couldn't believe it. His eyes grew wide and his mouth dropped open. He had never been anyone's favorite anything before. Me? He said in shock. But, why? Connor hadn't thought this part of the plan through yet, so he looked over to Alex for help. Because you're the sibling the readers identify with the most, she said. They think it's very brave of you to fight crime with much bigger and older people than you. You're inspiring young kids all around the country to go after their own dreams, despite their size or their age. Bolt held a hand over the lightning bolt on his chest. He had never been so honored in his entire life. I never thought I was so inspirational, he said. Hey, Naisa, how are you? We're just like a page and a half into this chapter. I know you already know, but there you go. Would you mind if we interviewed you and took some pictures? Connor asked. Would I mind? Bolt asked. Please, I insist you do it. The superhero checked his reflection in the computer screen and straightened his hair. He pulled 2 chairs out for Connor to sit in while they chatted, and Connor scanned the blank notepad as if it were full of questions. Alex walked all around them and took photos while they spoke. All right, so now, tell us, what's it like to be a superhero? Connor asked, and Bolt hesitated to answer. Truthfully, he had never felt more unlike a superhero than he did today, but he didn't want to disappoint the readers of the Otherworld Times, so he gave the best answer that he thought they would want to hear. Well, it's the best job in the whole world, Bolt said. The asteroid hitting our orphanage was the best thing that ever happened to me. Connor scribbled down notes so quickly that he wasn't even writing real words. So what's your favorite part about being a superhero? Connor asked. Oh, that's easy, Bolt said. Helping people. I love seeing the relief in their eyes when they're rescued from a burning building, or a runaway train, or a sinking ship. Actually, I've never saved anyone myself, but I've been with my brothers and sisters when they have. The thought made Bolt a little sad, and he sank into his chair. Connor quickly changed the subject, and his spirits perked up. Well, our readers love watching you fly, he said. Do you have anything special, like any techniques that you use to get off the ground? Actually, I'm still working on the whole flying thing, Bolt said like it was a secret. Hopefully I'll get better at that one day. Never go so high that you're afraid to look down. That's my motto. Yeah, hey, words to live by, Connor said. And what's all the electricity that you produce about? Where does it come from? According to my dad, my body generates a lot of friction, and it pulls electricity out of the environment around me, Bolt said. Right now, I can light up a 14-watt battery all by myself, but I'm hoping to get to a 60-watt by the end of the year. That's very impressive, Connor said. It makes perfect sense why our readers said that they would prefer your powers over any of other siblings. Really? Bolt asked. That's crazy because most of the time I wish I could switch. I think it would be so cool to create fire like Blaze, or turn into stuff like Morph can, or use my hair for chores like Whitney does. The more that Connor buttered him up, the happier Bolt became. With every picture Alex took, Bolt had a bigger and bigger smile. So far, their plan did seem to be working. Nice. This is all such great stuff, Connor said. What would you say to someone who wants to be a superhero just as amazing as you? It took Bolt a few minutes to respond. He had never thought anyone would want to be a superhero like him. He wanted to give his followers an answer from his heart. I suppose it would be to, never give up, he said. Courage is what makes a superhero super. And suddenly, the red light bulb in the center of the laboratory lit up, and the crisis alarm sounded again. The twins and Bolt turned to the television and saw the situation in Paris had become much, much worse. Breaking news, the panicked reporter said. The Snake Lord has captured the Ziplings. I repeat, the Snake Lord has captured the Ziplings. Something has gone wrong in their attempt to save the city. There's still no information at this time about what the Snake Lord is doing in the Eiffel Tower, or what he's planning to do with the Ziplings. The news played live footage from a helicopter circling the Eiffel Tower. Blaze, Whitney, and Morph were wrapped around the base of the tower's antenna by a large anaconda. They were so close together that Blaze couldn't use his powers without burning his brother and sister. It was so tight between them that Morph couldn't transform into anything. A rattlesnake was covering Whitney's head like a turban, constricting her hair. The Snake Lord was standing on a small platform at the very top of the Eiffel Tower's antenna. Screw by screw, he attached the reptilizer to the antenna and connected it to the tower's power. He operated unwaveringly and never looked up from the device. Bolt was horrified to see that his family had been captured. Even though they'd known it was coming, Alex and Connor pretended to be just as surprised as he was. This is awful, he said. The Snake Lord's going to turn everyone in Paris into a reptile. Yeah, good thing there's still one sibling left who's going to turn everything right, Alex said. And the boy shook his head and paced back and forth. He couldn't fathom facing such a threat without the help of his brother and sister. I can't defeat the Snake Lord on my own, Bolt said. My powers haven't even reached their full potential yet. I'm no match for him. Sure you are, Connor said. You're the Otherworld Times' favorite superhero. No, I'm not, Bolt explained. Your readers got it wrong. I'm not even a real superhero. My own family said it. I'm just a boy with a couple of tricks. The Snake Lord's gonna win, and there's nothing I can do about it. Bolt went to his corner of the laboratory and sat on his desk. Alex and Connor exchanged worried glances. They'd built up his ego only to watch it collapse like a building under demolition.
I don't think we can convince him, Connor said to his sister. To be honest, I'm not even sure I would go to Paris if I were in his shoes. But you were in his shoes once, Connor, Alex said. Bolt is you. He represents the little boy inside you who used to doubt himself. You have to be his Mrs. Peters right now and tell him what you would have wanted to hear. It was unsettling how Alex understood Connor's characters better than he did, but that's how he knew she was right. He let out a deep sigh and he walked over to Bolt. Hey, for what it's worth, I know how you feel, Connor told him. I used to doubt myself a lot too. When people told me I wasn't good enough, I believed them. It's hard not to when you're so young. Yeah, tell me about it, Bolt said. Does it get better when you're older? It did for me, Connor said. How? Bolt asked. Someone believed in me. Someone else did, Connor said. All it took was one person's approval, and suddenly I believed in myself too, and it gave me the shield to block out all the doubt and negativity. It made me realize that I was just as capable and deserving as the people I was comparing myself to. But you know what? I was wrong. You were? Bolt asked. Totally wrong, Connor said. I didn't need someone else. I had confidence in myself deep down the whole time. Approval is just like a shortcut to self-worth, but sometimes we have to find those things out on our own. Like sometimes, if we want something bad enough, we have to inspire ourselves to get it, and we have to be our own superhero. Out of everything that Connor said, he could tell it resonated with the boy. If he wanted to help people, maybe he had to start with himself. But what if I fail? Bolt asked. What if the Snake Lord wins and I don't save anyone? Then I'll never be a superhero. A very wise man once told me that courage is what makes a superhero super, Connor said. He never said anything about succeeding. Bolt looked down at the pile of used batteries on his desk. If the batteries had feelings, he imagined that they would feel the same way he did. Useless, rumpled, empty. But if he could glue junk together and turn it into a hero, he knew that he could make a hero out of himself too. Bolt stood up from his desk and looked Connor in the eye. Let's go to Paris, he said. I've got a family and city to save. Attaboy, Connor said, and he patted Bolt on the back. The contact shocked Connor's hand and he yelped, Whoa, sorry, I forgot who I was talking to. How am I supposed to get to Paris in time anyway? Bolt asked. My brothers and sisters, they took the jet. Lucky for you, Alex and I have a teleportation device, Connor said. It'll get us there in a matter of seconds. Alex did a double take. We do? She asked. Yeah, you do, Connor mouthed at his sister. We'll use your magic. Oh, right, Alex played along. I completely forgot about the teleportation device. I have it right here in my hand. It's small and invisible. Boy, it sure is easy to misplace. Bolt was impressed. My dad doesn't even have one of those, he said. How did you two school journalists get a teleportation device? Our school has a really great science department, Connor said. More on that later. But do you want to go to Paris or not? Alex put her arm around Bolt and Connor as they formed a group hug. She had never magically transported between locations in one of her brother's stories before. She hoped that it would work like it did in the fairy tale world. Alex closed her eyes and visualized the siblings tied to the Eiffel Tower antenna by the anaconda and remembered how desperately she and Connor needed to be the superheroes and defeat the literary army. Okay, activating teleportation device, she said. Here goes nothing. With a bright flash, the twins and Bolt disappeared from Professor Wallet's secret laboratory. The first thing they felt was a cool night breeze. They looked around and they saw lush rectangular lawns, fountains, and a winding river. There were gorgeous buildings for miles with tall windows, domes, columns, steeps, and French flags. Every building was lit up like the entire city was in the middle of a photo shoot. Okay, we're definitely in Paris, Alex said, but I don't see the Eiffel Tower anywhere. That's because we're in the Eiffel Tower, Connor said. Check it out. And after further inspection, she realized that they were hundreds of feet in the air. Alex had transported them directly onto the roof of the lower observation deck. The rest of the structure towered above them like skeletons of a steel giant. It was so tall that the twins got vertigo just looking at it. Despite the circumstances, the Eiffel Tower was breathtakingly beautiful. On the ground below, they saw the Snake Lords circling serpents around the Parisian police at bay. Beyond the police, there were thousands of French citizens observing the scene. A dozen news helicopters flew around the Eiffel Tower, and they shined their spotlights on Bolt and the twins as soon as they arrived. It was a blessing as they did, because the spotlights illuminated Caller Joe and Lizzie Liza sneaking up behind them. Bolt, look out, Connor yelled. Caller Joe leapt toward Bolt and knocked him onto the floor. Lizzie Liza stood on her hands and kicked the twins. Alex and Connor rolled across the floor and over the edge. Connor grabbed onto the ledge with one hand and his sister with the other. They swung from the roof like rock climbers without a harness. The observers below gasped and screamed, and as they climbed back over the ledge, Collar Joe and Lizzie Liza started circling Bolt as he got to his feet. Collar Joe puffed up his frilled neck like an umbrella around his head, and Lizzie Liza scraped her claws across the roof and hissed at the boy. They were predators surrounding their prey. "What a treat," Collar Joe said. "All 4 siblings in one day. The Snake Lord will be thrilled." "I say we keep the little one between us," Lizzie Liza said. "I could use a snack, if you know what I mean." The overgrown reptiles cocked their heads and laughed, and at that moment Alex noted something on the roof behind Bolt that had the potential to help him. She hoped that he would have the same idea if he saw it. "Bolt, look behind you," Alex yelled, and Bolt turned around and saw a bucket of water that she was referring to. He ran over to it and kicked it. The water spilled across the roof as Collar Joe and Lizzie Liza charged after him. Bolt put both hands down and sent electricity through the waves that had spilled. The evil sidekick's feet and legs were electrocuted. They hopped around on the roof like it was covered in broken glass. They tripped on each other and then fell over the ledge of the observation deck, and they never returned. The twins crawled back to the roof and Bolt helped them to their feet. "That was smart thinking, guys," Connor said. "My dad always says science is a superpower in itself," Bolt said. With Collar Joe and Lizzie Liza gone, the Snake Lord was the only person preventing them from saving the city. The twins and the youngest sibling went to the edge of the roof and looked up at the Eiffel Tower's largest observation deck. "We've got to get up there," Alex said. "No, it's too dangerous," Bolt said. "You both need to stay here. This is between me and the Snake Lord." Alex opened her mouth to argue, but Connor gave her a quiet look. As he had explained before, it's time for the siblings to reunite, and to do that, Bolt had to face the Snake Lord alone. "Good luck, Bolt," Alex said. "We believe in you," Connor added, and Bolt gave them both a nervous smile. He flew into the air and ascended the Eiffel Tower, gliding from the steel beam to steel beam like a flying squirrel jumping from branch to branch, and eventually he made it all the way to the roof of the highest observation deck, where he saw the other siblings at the base of the antenna. Blaze, Whitney, and Morph were shocked and a little bit upset to see their brother. "Bolt, what the heck are you doing here?" Blaze asked. "I'm here to save you and the city," Bolt said. "No, get out of here while you still can," Whitney said. "You can't face the Snake Lord alone." "You need to get Dad," Morph said. "You can't help us. You aren't strong enough." "It doesn't take strength to be a superhero," Bolt said. "It just takes courage." And just like Connor, Bolt pretended that he had a shield protecting him from all the doubt and belittlement his siblings were sending him. He flew over to the antenna's ladder and climbed the platform where the Snake Lord stood. The Snake Lord had reached the final step of the reptilizer's installation, and a pleased grin stretched across his face. It would only be a matter of time before everyone in Paris was transformed into a reptile, and he would have total control over the world's most cosmopolitan city. The Snake Lord was distracted by movement coming from beneath his feet, and he looked down just as the youngest sibling pulled himself onto the platform. The Snake Lord kicked Bolt hard in the chest, and he slipped down the ladder. It knocked the wind out of Bolt, but as soon as he caught his breath, he climbed back up. And when he reached the platform, the Snake Lord kicked him down again. But no matter how many times the Snake Lord kicked Bolt down the ladder, the boy was never going to give up. Even if he was going to be kicked down 100 more times, Bolt was going to do whatever it took to keep the Snake Lord from activating the reptilizer. And on the boy's 5th trip up the ladder, the Snake Lord stared at him pityingly. Bolt's determination amused him. Instead of kicking him down again, the Snake Lord grabbed Bolt by the lightning logo on his suit and looked at the boy closely in the eye. "You're a brave little hero, I'll give you that," the Snake Lord said, "but there's a thin line between bravery and stupidity, and I'm afraid you just crossed it." "And there's a thin line between bad breath and halitosis," Bolt said, "and I'm afraid you crossed that a while ago." Sorry. Don't wake up, please don't wake up. Halitosis. The remark angered the Snake Lord to no end, so rather than putting Bolt with his siblings, he threw the boy off the antenna. The youngest sibling plummeted toward the ground, falling so fast that he couldn't fly. "Bolt!" the siblings yelled as they watched helplessly, and he fell past Alex and Connor on the lower observation deck and landed somewhere among the trees below the Eiffel Tower. It was over before the twins even knew what was happening. They looked at each other in total shock. This is all my fault, Connor cried. I pushed him too far. I made him face the Snake Lord when he wasn't ready yet. I killed him. And now the siblings will never be reunited. It is. It's very funny to hear them laughing in person. They said the feedback in person makes it funnier. It's also funny because this is a wild chapter for Maple to come in on because it makes no sense out of context. It like is absolutely insane out of context to come in on this chapter because it's like, wait, I thought we were in the fairy tale world where we were, and this is not it. Connor was so ashamed of himself that he buried his face in Alex's shoulder. She felt just as responsible, and she couldn't find the words to comfort her brother. You murderer, Blaze yelled at the Snake Lord. How could you do that to a child? Whitney screamed. He was just a boy, Morph shouted, and the siblings struggled against the anaconda binding them, but the large snake only tightened its squeeze. The Snake Lord finished the final phase of the Reptilizer's installation and laughed uproariously to himself. The Reptilizer is complete, he announced. Not only have you lost a brother, but once I have activated my invention, you'll be the first people in Paris to turn into reptiles. And with no siblings left, no one will ever stop me. Soon, the whole world will be under my control. The Snake Lord flipped the switch on the Reptilizer, and the machine... The machine came to life. A thick green gas spewed from the antenna and traveled down the Eiffel Tower like a looming fog, but just before it reached the siblings below, the Eiffel Tower's power unexpectedly went out. The Reptilizer shut off, and the green gas dissipated into the night breeze. What in the name of Caw? The Snake Lord said, and desperately tried to restart his machine. The twins mourned the loss of Bolt, but a strange phenomenon occurred in the city around them. Not only did the Eiffel Tower lose its power, but all the buildings in a 10-block radius had blacked out too. It was like the Reptilizer had blown Paris's fuse. Wait a second, Alex said. Didn't Bolt say that his power comes from absorbing the electricity around him? Yeah, when he was alive, Connor said, but he's dead. I mean, isn't he? Suddenly the twins' hair rose above their heads, and their bodies were tickled by a strong wave of friction. They looked down to the trees to see where Bolt had landed. They were buzzing and emitted a glowing, bright white light, and Bolt launched from the trees like a missile. He was alive and more powerful than ever. Strong electrical waves charged out of his body like he was a human plasma ball. His body was producing so much friction that the air hummed around him. His hair stood straight up above his head, and his eyes glowed with energy. Bolt had never felt or looked so confident or capable in his life. It worked, Connor said. Bolt reached his full potential. Go, Bolt, Alex yelled, and Connor couldn't have been more proud of that little superhero. Watching Bolt flourish made him feel like a part of him had succeeded and beaten the odds too. The twins hugged in celebration. Bolt soared back to the antenna of the Eiffel Tower, and he pointed a finger at the anaconda and the rattlesnakes, restraining the siblings, and zapped the reptile with the electricity he had now. The snakes curled into a ball and fell to the ground. The siblings couldn't believe their eyes. It took them a moment to realize that the rescuer was their brother? Bolt? Blaze said. You're alive, Whitney said. And powerful, Morph said. And the youngest sibling could have gloated. He could have made his brothers and sister feel lousy as they had made him feel, but none of that was as important as saving the city. I have 2 friends on the roof of the lower observation deck, Bolt said. I have to get them to safety. But if you get them to safety, I'll take care of the Snake Lord. The siblings didn't argue with their brother this time. Blaze jumped off the tower and a fiery blast erupted from his feet like he was standing on a jetpack. Whitney swung the Eiffel Tower beam by beam as if her hair were long arms of an orangutan. Morph turned into a huge paper airplane with sunglasses and glided down to the lower observation deck to retrieve the twins. Hold on, Morph told them. Alex and Connor climbed aboard the paper airplane, and the siblings escorted them to the rectangular lawns below. Once they were safely on the ground, the twins and the siblings looked up at the Eiffel Tower and anxiously watched as Bolt went head-to-head with the Snake Lord. At the top of the antenna, the Snake Lord was fidgeting with the wires and the gears of the Reptilizer, but nothing he adjusted made the device regenerate. Bolt landed on the platform behind him with so much force that the entire structure rattled. He raised both hands toward the Reptilizer and fired at it with electricity until it exploded. If looks could kill, the Snake Lord would have murdered Bolt with his hateful glare. You think you're powerful? He asked. You have no idea what power is. The eyes on the Snake Lord's helmet started to glow as if they were connected by wireless frequencies. He sent instructions to the serpent guarding the base of the Eiffel Tower, and the snakes joined their bodies together, forming a monstrous beast. Thousands of snakes made up of hundreds of species were now slithering in perfect synchronicity. The gigantic reptile coiled up the Eiffel Tower toward the antenna, joining its master and attacking Bolt. The observing twins and the Siblings, police, and the Parisian citizens all screamed. They had never seen such a gargantuan creature take form before. Bolt only laughed at the approaching giant. The Snake Lord's ruthless quest for power In the Snake Lord's ruthless quest for power, the mad scientist had forgotten one very basic scientific fact. Science 101, Bolt said. Nothing helps electricity move faster than metal. You just send your entire entourage onto a steel structure. The Snake Lord's yellow reptilian eyes widened, and his pupils shrank into narrow slits. He had made a grave mistake. Bolt looked toward the sky above the antenna and sent a wave of friction into the clouds, causing a mighty bolt of lightning to descend and strike the Eiffel Tower. The lightning illuminated the tower, and it shone more brightly than it ever had in history. Every light bulb on the tower burst, covering it in tiny explosions. The electricity coursing through the structure electrocuted the Snake Lord and his scaly accomplices until there was nothing left but burnt dust. When the lightning had finished, the thunderous roar erupted through Paris. The Siblings, the twins, the police, and all the witnessing Parisians cheered and applauded the little superhero. Bolt flew down to the rectangular lawn and joined the twins. "Way to go," Connor said. "I'd hug you, but I'm definitely not touching you after what I just saw." "We knew you could do it," Alex said. Blaze, Whitney, and Morph sheepishly stepped toward Bolt. They hung their heads shamefully, feeling so guilty that they couldn't even look their brother in the eye. "Bolt, we are so sorry," Blaze said. "Thank you for saving our lives," Whitney said. "We really should have believed in you," Morph said. And Bolt stared blankly at his brothers and sister, not knowing what to say to them. A sly grin then appeared on his face. It felt so good to finally prove himself that he really didn't care about proving them wrong. "It's okay," he said. "All that matters is that I believe in myself, and I'll definitely find a way for you to make it up to me." The Siblings went to speak with the French police and press. Blaze, Whitney, and Morph all gave credit for saving the city to their little brother. The reporters crowded around him and praised him for his efforts. The Parisians chanted Bolt's name. Blaze and Morph lifted their brother onto their shoulders so the people could get a better look at him. Bolt had never smiled so big in his whole life. He was finally a real superhero. "That is so sweet," Alex said. "This is such a great story, Connor." "Hey, baby. Hi. Hey. Hi. Hi. Hello. Good morning. Hey, little nap monster. Hi. There they are.
Hello.
Hi.
She's like, wait, they're still here.
She's like, I slept, and they're still here. Hi.
Hi, babies.
Do you want to go say hi? You can sit in your chair, or you can sit with Auntie Mabel and Auntie Grayson.
Yes.
Or you can do
can.
both.
Hi, sweet
You can take
girl.
turns.
Do I need to actively remember not to say the name?
There you go.
Hi.
Someone just woke up. Hi, Dada.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, she's sitting with Auntie Mabel. Yeah. All right, we're going to finish this. Let's see.
Sweet girl.
Thank you, he said. You know, I've been thinking a lot about what you said in the trunk of the Sibling mobile. We need Dada.
I mean,
You were right. The Siblings is definitely about us. Alex took a deep breath. "I told you," she said. "And just to reiterate, I do want to apologize for anything that I might have..." "But you were wrong about one thing," Connor interrupted her. "Blaze, Whitney, and Morph aren't based on you. Alex, you might not realize it, but you were the first person to encourage me to write. You're my Professor Wallet, not Mrs. Peters." "Me?" Alex said. But Mrs. Peters..." "Mrs. Peters also tried getting me to finish my homework and study for tests, but that never happened either," Connor said. "I don't remember 2nd grade, but I do remember 7th grade. And just before we went into the fairy tale world to fight the enchantress, I showed you my stories for the first time, and you liked them. You said they were special, and you gave me the confidence to keep writing. It was your approval that inspired me." I know, isn't that sweet, Naisa? Wait, you guys can't see it because she got filtered, which is so crazy. I don't know why this would ever get filtered, but that's the cutest comment. You were my champion. Alex was more relieved than words could describe. Thinking that she had somehow harmed him in the past was the worst feeling in the world. She hugged her brother, squeezing him so tight that he could barely breathe. Professor Wallet appeared in the crowd of Parisians and pushed his way through the people toward his children. He was so out of breath and sweaty that he looked like he had run all the way from Germany. Dad, Bolt said when he saw him.
You need diaper change?
I changed it right before we put her down, but you can try. You can check it. I'm sorry I didn't get here sooner, the professor said. The Chancellor let me borrow her plane and I've been watching the whole thing unfold on the news. I'm sorry I broke the rules, Bolt said. I know I was grounded and I shouldn't have left the laboratory, but the others were in danger and I didn't want the Snake Lord to win, so I... Are you okay, baby? Maybe she wants the rest of her bottle.
Yeah, I'll go get it.
It's in the fridge.
She didn't eat much.
She only had 1 ounce before her nap, which is no good.
Maybe Auntie can give you a bottle.
Professor Wallet silenced his son with a hug. Ooh, are you okay?
Yeah, just not sure what happened.
Oh.
I'll find it.
The embrace was slightly electrifying, but the professor didn't care. We can talk about the logistics a different time, Professor Wallet said, but right now I couldn't be more proud to be your father. It took a lot of bravery for you to save these people, bravery you must have found on your own. Paris is known as the City of Lights, but after tonight, I believe it will be remembered as the City of Lightning. It was a touching display, and many of the observers teared up. The reporters tried sticking their microphones closer to the father and son, but the Ziblings pushed them back to give Bolt and the professor some privacy. It wasn't all thanks to me, Bolt said. If it weren't for my new friends here, I never would have had the confidence to come. They taught me how to believe in myself. I couldn't have done it without them.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be distracting, such. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
Bolt led the professor to the rectangular lawn in front of the Eiffel Tower and introduced him to the twins. Alex, Connor, meet my dad, Professor Wallet. It's a pleasure, the professor said and shook their hands. Thank you for giving my son the inspiration he needed to save his brothers and sister. If there's anything we can do to return the favor, please don't please don't hesitate to ask. Alex and Connor exchanged quick smiles. Well, as a matter of fact, Connor said, we could use your help with something. Do you want to see if she wants to sit in here? Sometimes she'll play with the tape and she'll like it.
I think she's hungry. She's just
Too distracted.
She's eating it when she was eating it right away when I got out of the fridge, and then
Oh, okay.
I came over and she had just.
Do you want to take her in the other room and hide her for a second, see if she won't be distracted? And then when she's done eating it, she can come out and play.
Sorry.
It's okay, she just needs to be not distracted. Chapter 22, A Castle of Questions. This is going to blow Mabel's mind because we're about to jump into a completely different world. So, what you need to know, just so...
I totally read it on. I read on Wikipedia. I figured
The
it out.
synopsis. Okay. That's good because...
I caught up in the chapters from
Yes.
This book. I'm good.
Okay, because it is very confusing. Yes, sometimes we have to go hide to have a feed. It's true.
I'm just getting breakfast.
Do it. A Castle of Questions. After a long and exhausting journey in the fairy tale world, Emmerich and the masked man had arrived at the woods in the Eastern Kingdom. They had only stopped to rest once leaving Dwarf Forest, and Emmerich was so tired that he was falling asleep as they walked. We're almost there, the masked man said. Keep up, boy. The closer they got to the portal, the more cross the masked man became. Emmerich was starting to realize that he wasn't a nice person that he thought he was. The longer Emmerich accompanied the twins' uncle, the louder the voice in the back of his head urging him not to trust the man became. They entered the area of the forest that Emmerich recognized. What are you looking for? Oh, there's also regular bowls there in the dishwasher if you want like a regular cereal bowl.
No, Grayson was just asking for a bowl as well.
Oh yeah, you can have whatever you want. We washed all the salad bowls last night, so they're all in the dishwasher.
But you're fine. I like these bowls.
Let's see. They entered an area of the forest that Emmerich recognized. It was a part of the woods that he had entered with Connor and Bree on his first trip to the fairy tale world. He would never forget seeing the Grand Armée soldiers raining down on the trees after they arrived. This is it, the masked man said. This is where I saw Marina activate the portal. Now all I need is the magic panpipe. Let me think. Which tree did the witch stash it in? And the twins' uncle searched all the trees in the area. He stuck his hand in every hole, every crack, and every bird's nest in the tree trunk. And finally, he found the instrument at the back of the squirrel's nest. Aha! He said with delight. I found it. Now I just need to play the right tune and the portal will open. The masked man played a series of melodies on the panpipe. He waited a few moments after each one, but none of the notes did the trick. Even when he was certain that he had remembered the correct tune, a portal to the other world did not appear. Blast that damn witch, the masked man said. Why isn't this working? Is it the right panpipe? Emmerich asked. Of course it is, he said. Marina stole it from the fairies. I watched her open the portal just a few days ago. For whatever reason, it won't cooperate with me. Emmerich thought back to when Connor played the panpipe and opened the portal in Neuschwanstein Castle. He remembered that there was something very special about the instrument in order for it to work. It needs to be played by a person of magical blood, Emmerich said. That must be why it isn't working. My friend Bree thinks she and I might have magic in our blood. Would you like me to give it a try? The magic in the masked man blood had been taken away a long, long time ago, so it made sense that the portal wasn't opening for him. However, if his son was able to do the trick, not only would this grant them entrance to the other world, it would also prove that the masked man's plan would work. He glanced down at his son, trying to conceal the eagerness in his eyes. Yeah, be my guest, he said, and he handed his son the panpipe. Emmerich licked his lips and held the instrument to his mouth. He blew 8 notes as he remembered them from Connor playing them at the castle. Almost instantaneously, a bright light appeared out of thin air among the trees, and the light grew bigger, and it started to spin, sucking all the leaves on the forest floor inside like a wormhole. Emmerich smiled. He had activated the portal all by himself. This confirmed Bree's theory that there was magic in his blood. More than ever, Emmerich couldn't wait to get home and to tell her. But unbeknownst to him, the masked man had other plans for the boy. He stared at the portal as it grew mesmerized by spinning light, and he placed his hand on the back of Emmerich's neck and pushed his son toward it. Good boy, he said softly. Very good boy. If you guys want raisins for your cereal, they're in the cupboard if you want it. Oh, snacks. Bree and the Sisters Grimm had spent the entire week in Germany searching for clues as to Emmerich's disappearance. Just as they expected, nothing in Bavarian countryside. You know, why don't I go in the other room so you guys can actually, like, talk and have a nice morning?
No, it's okay.
Are you sure? Because I don't want to make you have to, like, sit silently at breakfast. That's not fair.
It's okay.
Are you sure? Okay.
I think they enjoyed book club.
Okay.
So, I assume.
Just as they expected, nothing in the Bavarian countryside revealed where the boy was or who had taken him. There was only one place that might give them more insight, and unfortunately, it wasn't an easy location to get to. After days of trading voicemails, Cornelia finally got through to the groundskeeper of Neuschwanstein Castle. She told the man that she and her family were private investigators from the United States and they needed access to the castle. The groundskeeper wouldn't hear a word of it until Cornelia mentioned that it was regarding Emmerich Himmelsbach and his disappearance. By now, all of Bavaria had heard about the missing boy, and the groundskeeper was then inclined to help them. Late one night, once all the tour guides and tourists had left and the janitors had finished their shifts, the groundskeeper snuck Cornelia, Wanda, Frenda, and Bree inside the castle. You have 1 hour, the groundskeeper said. I cannot give you any more time than that, or I might lose my job. We really appreciate this, Cornelia said. Would you mind showing us around the lower levels of the castle? Wanda asked. And the groundskeeper escorted Wanda and Frenda to the stories below, giving Cornelia and Bree a chance to thoroughly inspect Singer's Hall without supervision. Bree looked around at all the instruments, the pillars, the chandeliers, the mural of the enchanted forest. She couldn't believe that it had been more than a year since she and the boys were there. That's where the portal is, Bree said, and she nodded to the mural. Cornelia removed a cross-dimensional emission tracking device from her purse and waved it around the painting. The device beeped with gusto. Oh, if I didn't know before, I know now, Cornelia said. The detection rates are off the charts here. This portal was activated recently, and very recently. I knew it. Emmerich isn't in this world at all, Bree said. Whoever kidnapped him took him back to the fairy tale world. Bree sat on the floor and sighed, and Cornelia kneeled down next to her and put the tracking device aside. Sadly, I think we've done all we can do, she said. We should think about heading back to the States tomorrow morning. Bree would have stayed in Germany for months if she could. She felt like she was abandoning Emmerich by leaving him, but Cornelia was right. There was no point in staying if there was nothing else that they could do. Have you contacted the Bailey twins and told them about Emmerich yet? Cornelia asked. I tried calling Connor as soon as I found Emmerich was taken, but at the time, his mom didn't even know where he and his sister were, Bree said. I bet they're still somewhere in the fairy tale world. Then perhaps Connor will find Emmerich himself, Cornelia said. The 3 of you were brought together by chance. We need to have faith that it will happen again. Bree nodded. All right, let's go, she said. I don't want to waste any more of anyone's time. Just as she got to her feet, the tracking device began a beeping frenzy. Something otherworldly was coming their way. A bright light appeared in front of the mural, and it became brighter and brighter. It grew bigger and bigger, like a swirling vortex. My word, Cornelia gasped. What is happening? It's the portal, Bree said. Someone must have activated it from the fairy tale world side. Instead of pulling them in like it had before, the portal blew powerful gusts of air into the room, knocking all the furniture and instruments to the floor. Bree and Cornelia held on to each other so that they weren't knocked off their feet. Leaves from the fairy tale world blew inside of the hall, and Bree could make out the silhouettes of 2 people stepping through the portal. It was so bright that she couldn't tell who they were, and finally the portal closed, and a swirling vortex disappeared. Bree? Said a familiar voice with a German accent, and as soon as her eyes adjusted, Bree saw that Emmerich was coming toward her. She couldn't believe it. All her prayers had been answered. She embraced her friend and twirled him around in a circle. "Oh, Emmerich!" she cried thankfully. "We've been looking all over for you." "I was kidnapped by witches," Emmerich said. "They held me prisoner at their camp in the woods, and this man rescued me." Emmerich gestured to the masked man behind him. Even though Bree was overjoyed to see her friend, there was something very peculiar about the man with Emmerich. He seemed familiar, but Bree couldn't think who he reminded her of. "Oh, thank you for saving my friend," Bree said, "but who are you?" "He's Alex and Connor's Uncle Lloyd," Emmerich exclaimed. "They sent him to find me and bring me home." "You know my niece and nephew, too?" the masked man asked. "Well, certainly is a small world." From the sarcastic tone in his voice, he was anything but thrilled by the connection. "Yeah, we go to the same school," Bree said. "I didn't even know they had an uncle." "Yeah, we aren't close," the masked man said. Emmerich was so happy to be back home in Germany that he humped Cornelia before even being introduced. "I'm Emmerich," he said. "Who are you?" "My name is Cornelia Grimm," she said. "It's so wonderful to see that you're alive and well." "Cornelia's my cousin," Bree said. "When I heard you were missing, she brought me here on her plane so that she could help me look for you. She's a part of a secret group of women called the Sisters Grimm. They're descendants of the Brothers Grimm, and they know all about the fairy tale world." Emmerich's eyes grew wide and he jumped up and down. Bree, that reminds me of something I have to tell you," he said. "I activated the portal from the fairy tale world all by myself. You are right. There is magic in our blood. This must mean that you, Cornelia, and I are all related." "Actually, Emmerich," Bree said, "we found out some information when we were visiting with your mom. It turns out that you're actually not related to the Brothers Grimm like I thought. You're from the..." But her train of thought was interrupted when Cornelia suddenly screamed. Bree and Emmerich looked up and saw that the masked man was pointing a revolver right at them. "What are you doing, Lloyd?" Emmerich asked. The masked man ignored him. He stepped toward Cornelia and aimed the gun at her. The old woman raised her hands in the air. "Did the girl say that you have a plane?" he asked. Well, yes," Cornelia said. I do." The masked man jerked his head and the gun toward Bree next. "And you go to school with my niece and nephew?" he said. "Do you know where they live and how to get there?" Bree was scared speechless. I, she mumbled. "Just answer the question," the masked man yelled. "Yes," Bree said. Emmerich was petrified. He regretted not trusting his instincts in the wood. Clearly this man wasn't who he said he was. "You're not Alex and Connor's uncle at all, are you?" he asked. "Oh, yeah, I most certainly am," the masked man said. "Actually, I'm a lot more than you realize, but we'll have plenty of time for that later. The 4 of us are going on a little trip to the twins' house right now." "But Alex and Connor aren't there," Bree peeped. "They're in the fairy tale world." The masked man chuckled. "You stupid girl. I never said I was looking for the twins." Yikes. Yikesies. Whew. That's a sad one. Bad news for Alex and Connor. Bad news for whoever he's trying to find. He's not looking for the twins, but he is going to their house, so I feel bad for their mom and their stepdad. That's not good. Nope.
Hey, Sasha.
Oh.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Can you grab the top and we'll put the bottle back in the fridge?
Yes.
It's not up.
So we read 2 chapters, so we'll call it for today a little bit early. Hopefully tomorrow she'll nap a little bit better and we'll get to finish a little bit more. But the good news is, regardless, we are going to finish this book this week because we are on page 347, chapter 23, and we only need to get to page 438, and that is chapter 28. So we literally only have 5 more chapters to go. So we're definitely finishing this book this week. All right, so we will see you maybe for book club, baby book club later, who knows? And I'm gonna go have breakfast with the fam. And I know my baby. That's the whole kit and caboodle.